Hey man, how are you?
Yo, dude, I'm doing great. How you doing?
Yeah, good, good.
Good. Oh, okay, good. Dude, tell me everything. Tell me your current situation in Starcraft, and I guess kind of what you're looking for, if you can.
Yeah, sure. So since last time, I made Diamond, which is awesome,
Nice.
and the game just sort of feels like it's got exponentially more complex.
Okay.
I think I'm sort of at the point where I can't do the same thing anymore and progress. Like I don't think Thor Hellbat's really going to get me any further.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm starting to trying to scout more and react more, and just really struggling with that because there's so much information involved, and there's also like the mechanics of it as well. So like, first of all, there's the mechanics of scouting, like controlling the Reaper, that sort of stuff. Then it's seeing what you see, recognizing it, and then I think the third part is, well, what's the reaction to that?
Yeah.
Um, and the game just sort of feels like there's just this massive information I just don't have, so I'm just not playing the game at the same level that the other people I'm playing against are.
Yeah.
Like I'm seeing not great builds, but I'm seeing actual builds a lot more now. Like it's not just random timings with units. It's like proper two base blink all in, proper tank timings, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of the information I've sort of been looking at is very. It's sort of like that example you were talking about before we jumped on. It's very geared towards an expectation of being, if not a pro player, being a very strong player. So it's like, oh, well, he's going for tank timing, so you should, do this with a Raven and yada yada yada. And it's like, nah, it's way too much
Okay.
detail. And I think, like, I don't think at Diamond I need to have a response to everything. Like, I think it's only sort of very specific things where it's necessary, but I sort of don't know which ones I do and which ones I don't. Um, yeah.
What?
So I was hoping we could.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say. So my thought process was that at this point, I think my macro is pretty solid, and you talked a lot about in your B to GM. The next sort of step past that is scouting. So my thought process was to focus on scouting today.
Sure. What is there a specific matchup today you want to focus on the most, or do you kind of want to just like branch out to all of them if we have enough time?
Um, I mean, I don't know how much we probably can't cover all three realistically. I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, we'd have to
Um,
go kind of quick. It like
yeah, so I think the mech build works best against Zerg. I think like I've
I
got
agree.
a highest win rating against Zerg. Like I forget what it is. It's pretty high though. I'm at like
It,
80% or
it
something. It's
definitely
pretty
works.
silly.
It works the best against Zerg for sure. Mech definitely. Mech, you can literally take Mech from Bronze to GM against Zerg specifically, and it will be very very realistically um, high win rates, like good success with it. It's just like a very viable build to go against Zerg all the time. Against Protoss and against Terran, it becomes a thing where you have to really know your shit once you're like Diamond Plus, um, because positioning is so important once people actually know how to macro. So like if you're ever out of position, you just get fucking destroyed over and over and over. And there's so many unforgiving things that Protoss and Terran can do to you. So I would say for you to progress overall as a player, if it sounds like you're doing great in TVZ still, probably don't focus too much on TVZ for now, unless you really wanted to. That's fine. But maybe doing a TVP or a TVT relook at what you're going for, and give you something more of like a. I would recommend maybe going more into like the bio route of some way you could set up a build, and then talk about what you see and how you can react with what you're doing. So we could still do a scouting emphasis, but like maybe give you like a bio setup with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, if you think that this is sort of the point that I need to learn bio, I'm down for that.
Yeah, because I've actually I did start incorporating a lot of bio into like Diamond Plus, and then especially Masters Plus. It was like tons of bio in the Beta GM series, because like Mech, the way I see Mech is it's extremely good up until Diamond League, because it's so a move friendly compared to what bio is. Bio is not a move friendly at all. It'll like if you run into a bunch of banelings or something, or like a storm or some anything with AOE, you just die. And if you're a moving and you're macroing and you don't stim pack at the right time, you also will probably die. So bio definitely takes a bit more babysitting, but in general, the way Mech kind of goes is, like I said before, it crushes in the A move stages, which is anything below Diamond. But once you get to Diamond Plus, and like I said, where players just kind of like know relatively how to macro pretty well at that point, like they're starting to get to the realistic time frames of what real macro should be. Mech kind of is very unforgiving if you don't set it up properly. And setting it up properly is like, it's like the difference of having a guy who cannon rushes you that doesn't know how to place his buildings correctly versus a guy who does. It's like two totally different cannon rushes. Like one guy can look horrible at it, and one guy can look extremely hard to deal with because he just knows where to put shit, and he's very experienced at like knowing when and where to put things. That's the same thing with like your placement of your mech units. So mech gets to a point when players know how to macro properly, which is Diamond Plus, where you just need to like gain a high level of understanding of how to operate it to then make it feel good again, which there are even players who are like Masters Plus, and even like GM, like lower GM, that still don't know how to play mech very well in TVT or like TvP. But I feel like almost every Terran can play mech against Zerg just because it's much easier mech to play, which is like you can do like Hellion Cyclone, Battle Cruisers, shit like that, and it's like very, very, very mobile, I would say. But like tank based mech and like Viking based mech, it's very meticulous, especially when it's like you have to deal with things like you can get doom dropped, you can get warp prismed, you can get fucking blink pressured, all these random things can hit you. So bio definitely will make your life feel easier if you get more comfortable with it, because styles that have mobility are way easier to operate. Just in general, when you're starting to actually when you're starting to really incorporate micro into your gameplay.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick one, TvT or Terra versus Protoss, which one do you think you'd prefer to like look at first?
My win rate's definitely lower against Protoss.
Okay.
Terran feels like a coin flip. And it very much feels like Thor Hellbat with tanks like loses to a starport, you know, because they get that high ground vision. Typically, like in TvT, like I lose to like early tank pushes a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why, but my Protoss is just is the worst. I'm at like 33% or something, pretty bad.
Are you dealing with Protosses a lot of times who are going for things like blink stalker charge lots?
It's just I think there's just a lot of things. So like, yeah, 2-base blink all in, 2-base charge all in, 2-base DT all in, warp prism harass.
Okay. Do you have any replays of
it's
like
just a lot.
An example of it? Do you have a replay of it?
I didn't set one aside. I can probably try and dig one out quickly if you want.
That's okay. I mean, if you don't have one set aside, we could do. There's a few things we could do. We could do like a live game right now, where you just play a game right now, and I could watch it from your perspective, and I could kind of give you like ideas about how to go progress it. You could literally play my Protoss if you wanted to, and I could do something that specifically you're struggling against. I think a live game might help you the most if I watch from your perspective and I kind of like ask you like, or I give you hints along the way about what I think you should be doing and like why you should be doing that, and then we could break it down after and like really go into it in detail. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds good. My only sort of question with that is, and this is what I mean about the game's got so much more complex, is that like we can do that, but you know, we can probably only get through like, you know, I mentioned 4 sort of builds off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And there's,
Well,
you know, I'm sure there's more.
So the Reaper itself is a huge deal. You don't want to throw your Reaper away if you can help it, because that Reaper alone can give you so much information, and we could talk about like how to do this. For instance, like based off of what so when your Reaper goes into someone's base, well, actually before I get into this, if there's someone on my stream who is a Protoss player who is of the Diamond range, if you'd like to help me do a live game here really fast, let me know, log in and hit me up, and then, you know, hopefully someone does it. And while I'm talking to you about this, hopefully they'll log in. But yeah, we'll see if someone gets on for really fast. But like in general, in TvP, standard opener a lot of times can be a Reaper opener into something, which is fine. You don't we could make you something else if you don't feel super confident with the Reaper. We could do something else that has some form of aggression. But generally speaking, you want to be aggressive, and with your aggression, you're going to get a read on what Protoss is doing. And it is the most standard thing ever from Protoss that no matter what tech they're going for, that they're going to probably open up with some Stalkers. It's very, very, very common. Maybe like 1 sentry and some Stalkers, or maybe multiple sentries and some Stalkers. It's like the go-to thing most Protosses will do, unless they're going to straight up like all in you with a proxy. So from that, your Reaper, when it gets into his base, you can always get into the Protoss's base when they have like 1 unit, basically. Like you'll probably get in there just a second before their unit pops out, but in general it'll be like, okay, there's 1 Stalker or like 1 Adept at his base, and I'm getting in here seeing what's going on, and you won't yet see their tech, but then all you have to see is like, do they have a natural? And if the answer is yes, it means no tech has been rushed, and it means you'll have to come back again with that Reaper in a minute and find out what it is ideally. If the answer is no, there is no natural, automatically you need to be super fucking defensive, because there is no reason for a Protoss to like not have a natural. Ever, unless they're going to be doing some type of a very aggressive build, and that could be, again, something from the Protoss' perspective, that could be something like a proxy, like proxy void or something. But when the Reaper goes back in after you've confirmed he has a natural, your first pass on the base should look at pylon placement, and your second pass on the base should look at what is down in those pylons. And that is a huge, like, there's only going to be 2 of them as well. And that's a huge deal if you find what tech it is, because it limits what it could be. And we'll make, well, with your build too, we can make you a build that is very, very, very multi-build friendly at dealing with random shit. So your build could be something along the lines of like, if you get a scout and read off, you could go one way. And if you don't get a scout or a read off of what you're looking for, your build could literally open in a way where it could be like multi-racks factory starport, where you go into a bio build and maybe you open up with just a simple either Widowmine support or like a Cyclone, just like one, like something super standard that could be very forgiving if you don't have all the information that you need. Kind of hopefully this makes sense, but
yeah, no, totally. I'm super down to learn, like, you know, a standard sort of build. I think it's mostly the tech scouting that I'm struggling with. I've gotten pretty disciplined with the expand scouting, and also the worker gas scouting.
Okay.
I think it's sort of, but that was sort of up until recently, that was sort of all I was really doing.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to do the tech scouting, and apart from, I think DTs if I see a shrine, but I've got to see it directly. Like, I can't recognize the DT build without, you know, seeing it directly, because they usually, you know, hide it in a corner or whatever. Or, I mean, Stargate obviously is fairly obvious.
Yeah. I invited you to, I don't know if you have an invite right now, but I think it dropped out. But there you go, perfect.
I'm just joining now.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so we'll definitely dive a lot into this when the game's over. But but for now, I'm not gonna try to distract you too much. I'm just gonna give you some ideas about like how I think your build should kind of operate in the start to be something that's just like feels good. It could feel solid, and after it's over, we can talk about like what ways you can see like what's going on and how to improve upon it and all the things like that. So, before we start, I'll say, I'm debating. I'm trying to give you like, I'm trying to think of like if I want you to do a certain thing because I feel like it would be good. I'm gonna have you do a Reaper Scout just because it'll give you more scouting and it helps you like understand what's going on faster. And then I'll have you go, honestly, out of a Reaper Scout, I'll have you go into 3 racks, not even take a factory right away. And then I'll have you take a factory, and then right when the factory's done, I'll have you take a starport. And I'll remind you of what's going on. But this way, you just have a lot of bio that can support you early, and it will help a lot against all types of pressure that can happen to you. And it will even give you an opportunity to pressure the Protoss, which is ideally where you want to be in TVZ anyways. In TVZ, you generally want the Terran to be, like, for the Terran's sake of having a good game, you want to be the aggressor. You don't want to be the defender as Terran too often.
Yeah. So is that maybe more the focus? Maybe it's about learning to pressure.
Well, pressure is
rather
also
than the scouting so much.
It also is another indirect form of scouting, because they have to show you what they have to defend themselves.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I've never done any bio at all.
It's
so
okay.
It's gonna be terrible.
It's okay. I'll help you along the way. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
you guys ready?
I'm just thinking. I've just got pushed to talk on. I think I might just mute myself
It's
and
okay.
I'll just listen. I think that's easiest.
No worries. You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to talk
Yeah.
back. I'll just I'll give you like little tips along the way, and
I mean it's casual, so we can pause if we need to and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
All right. Cool.
Let's do it, dude. And then so yeah, I'm gonna kind of walk you through the build a little bit, and then I'll. Basically, the idea of what you're going to be going for is you're going to be poking around with a Reaper when you make one. You're going to be setting up more of your production behind it. And you're ultimately going to go for a +1 weapon Stimpack timing. And then you're going to follow this up into just a standard macro game with Bio Medevac. So for now, just go ahead and make a... There you go. I have to say make a depot. Super standard so far. Keep making SCVs. Make a depot. Make your racks, and right when you make the racks, then make your gas right after. So depot, SCVs, another SCV, and then you'll be making another SCV again, and making your racks after the depot's done. And then... So barracks now, and then making a gas as soon as you can now. And then re-rally your... don't send your SCV out yet. Re-rally it back to the mineral line. Just because if you're going to do Reaper pressure, you're going to wall your base off anyways. It doesn't matter if you get attacked. So just keep, take advantage of the mining for now, I would say. Because again, this build's all about being aggressive, so you're going to be... the faster you get these timings, the better for you. But you will still scout. Just scout with the barracks SCV instead. And then, so when your barracks is done, you can send out another SCV to your natural. So I would say this SCV that's popping out, set it to the natural. Or that you pulled one, which is fine. Okay, send one SCV to his base. Make a Reaper. And then make a natural. Honestly, cancel the gas. It's too much right now. Just if he blocks it, who cares? You need to make your orbital and re-rally your command center because it's still popping SCVs down, and you have one SCV kind of chilling at the natural. So pull it back and make another depot with that second SCV at the natural right now. You have another SCV rallying down again. Your rally's still kind of fucked up. Okay, now send the Reaper to his base. Make a reactor on that barracks ASAP. And keep making SCVs. Make a mule on the mineral line. And your scout died. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You saw the Nexus, which is the only thing that matters. Make 2 more barracks as soon as you can now. And it doesn't have to be directly next to it. It doesn't matter where you put it. It's fine. And you can shift rally them back to the middle line like you did. Good shit. And now with these two barracks that are going to finish, both make a tech lab. Pull the Reaper back. Pull the Reaper back. Just run, run, run. Because that's the scout you need. So keep making SCVs. Start making Marines. And get ready to make another orbital on your natural. Also re-rally your natural back to just the natural because it has like a weird rally. There you go.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Now you've seen a structure. So pull your Reaper. Send it back to his base. Like you should when you take it out, just like leave it nearby, but you don't have to go all the way back home. The biggest thing though is just keep making SCVs, keep making Marines, and get ready to start double tech lab on those bad boys. Now start an engineering bay.
Command center upgrade.
Anywhere in your base. Doesn't really matter where, just make sure you make an engineering bay. And your Reaper can go jump up the cliff really fast and see if you spot his tech. Meanwhile, try to keep making Marines and SCVs. And you see a Robo. So back out. Robo first, Council second. You don't sack the Reaper. Just that's huge. That tells you that this guy is very likely going to be going into potentially Immortals first, or he might go really fast Colossus or Disruptor. Now on your Marine or on your barracks, go ahead and start Stim Pack. On your engineering bay, go ahead and start +1 weapons. And then on the second tech lab, go ahead and start like combat shield. And you're going to be trying to make double Marauder and Marine out of some Marines out of reactor, Marauders out of the tech labs. And just keep making, and yeah, good, you're making a depot already. Just keep making another and another. You're going to block pretty fast now. Your supply starts ramping quick when these barracks are all done, so probably start having 2 SCVs at a time, build depots. And grab like 5 SCVs off your main mineral line and put it down to the natural. And then just keep pumping those Marauders, Marines. Make more depots, 2 at a time. And make another Marauder. And now, once your natural's fully saturated, this is going to be getting close to that point. We're going to get ready to do the timing. So keep making units, keep making SCVs. But once you have enough money to make another structure that's not what you're already doing, it's going to be another command center. So we're going to do a 3rd command center once you have around what you have now. So your money's starting to ramp up kind of quick. So 3rd CC that shit. And now go ahead and start walking across the map because your Stim Pack's about done. And behind this as well, make all 3 of your gases and your factory.
Research complete.
Okay, and then keep pumping units. Don't stop making units. Marine, 2 Marauder.
Research complete.
And make like 1 or 2 more depots as well. But you're about to lose an army, so you're going to lose some supply. Now you can bring that Reaper with your push. You can either send that Reaper into his main mineral line, or you can bring it in with the push. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. Doesn't matter. Just get ready to watch your army for a second here and stim and push. And don't stop macroing during the process. Okay, so we've confirmed that he's going Colossus. So get ready to start your starport. And when you start your starport, start a reactor on the factory. Because we're going to swap that starport onto that reactor right away. And keep making units. And now your 3rd command center is done. Go ahead and start 2 more barracks. Go ahead and start a 2nd engineering bay and an armory. And then start armor upgrade on your existing engineering bay. So we're going into 5 racks upgraded Marines and Marauders. And keep making units.
Command center upgrade.
So make an armory as well. And good job. Yeah, take your 3rd too, so you can actually rotate those SCVs that are all over your natural. And now swap over your reactor to the starport off that factory. And keep making units. On these new barracks that are finishing, make 1 more reactor, 1 more tech lab. And make another command center. And from now on, you're going to be going into all planetary fortresses for a while. Make sure you grab those. Yeah, there you go. Your barracks. Okay, he's attacking, so you got to just try to keep making units while you do this. It's going to be medevacs, marines, marauders, and you try your best to like snip back your army and use it. And just keep pumping units if you can. And this is looking a bit dicey, but all right. I'm gonna pause it just for you guys, just for a second, okay? All right, I actually can't because I'm there you go. Okay, so right now, I'm gonna say I feel like we should let's do one more. Let's start it over and do one more. But just in general, okay? The biggest thing about this build, there's a couple things we could talk about. We could really break down some of the things that happen, but the biggest thing about this is your Reaper. The idea you want to have with your Reaper is you don't want to, when you push into someone's base with your Reaper, you definitely want to poke around and see what you can see. And if you can kill a probe, that's nice. But if you're having scouting issues, definitely don't try to sack the Reaper to kill a probe. The Reaper coming back in after the initial unit was made to see what tech he opens with, like, oh, Robo first. That rules out, like, just throw this out there, okay? A Robo first rules out all types of charge lot builds. It rules out all types of blink builds, all types of adept glaive builds. It rules out all DT builds. Like for openers, he can still do it later on, but later on doesn't matter because you have the ability to like make massive armies yourself then, and it doesn't mean anything. But for early on, if he opens Robo first, it means he's going to be going for either an Immortal Timing, or he's going to straight up go all the way into Colossus early, or go into Disruptor early. So going and then seeing that when you scouted into his base and you saw Robo was done, and then you saw Council and Forge following it up after, that tells you this Protoss player is most likely going to go into a Colossus or a Disruptor build, not Immortals, because a player who's going to go into Immortals like right off the bat, off of their initial tech is going to be Immortals. Usually what that means is they're going to attack you with that. But if someone's going to go, oh, you know what, I'm also going to go for a Council and a Forge behind my Robo, it doesn't usually mean that they want to do some early timing to you. That probably means he wants to set up for a future aspect of going into Blink or Charge and also weapon upgrades, which means the game's going to progress for many minutes beyond what it already is. Because he's not, if those were like just a bunch of gateways instead, if he was like 5-gate Robo, I'd be like, all right, be prepared for like Warp Prism Immortal mass waves of Zealot Stalker. It's probably all in. So just getting initial reads like that on Protoss is nice with your Reaper. And then once you get a read like that, you can always either, you can try if you want to kill probes and lose it, or you can do some type of attack with it when you do your actual stim timing, like how we talked about when you pressured the base earlier, where you did like your, you know, the Reaper jumps in the main, like the Reaper could jump in the main and kill probes in the main while your bio stims down the natural, something like that. You could do that, ViBE. Or, you know, if you really want to just bring it in with your army, it's not the best. It's a little bit worse, but it still is a meat shield for 50 hit points, so or like 60 hit points. So it's whatever. But now when your army moved into his natural, there's one thing I noticed, and it's that you A moved it and that you never touched it again. If we're gonna start going bio, you need to start utilizing the bio a little bit more with how you control it. Which means there's two things you need to start doing. One of them is stutter stepping. And it's simply, you move into his army, you attack. You move into his army, you attack. You move into his army, you attack. And the reason why is because bio is going to, it's very mobile. It's very fast attack speed. It's very good when you stutter step it forward. It doesn't really lose damage from stutter stepping. It's not like, it's very capable of doing this. It's also very fast when you stim pack it. Another reason why this is important is because your bio is also going to start dying very fast too. It's very fragile. So if you let your bio concave in a line where like 5 guys in the front are shooting, like 5 marauders in the front are all shooting at once, and there's marines and marauders behind it that are like all trying to like find a place in the concave, and they're like walking up and down trying to go around the marauders that are already shooting, you're losing so much DPS when you play like that. So stutter stepping is very important to make bio work, to get all your units shooting all the time. And bio will also pick units off very quick. So the last thing you want bio to do is to concave slowly into a front line of you, and then kill something in his front line of his concave, and then reset. Like your initial concave will then walk forward again and reset up a new concave where it'll block the back line, because your front units constantly block your back units. You do not want that to happen. So you always, that is why stutter stepping for bio is so ridiculously important. So you really want to start doing that more and more and more. And the last thing I can say is you're going to need to start identifying targets of priority to kill. And in the first fight you had, definitely the target priority to kill was the Colossus, because it was walking up and it was just roasting your Marines. This is when you were attacking his base. If you would have stemmed into that Colossus and focus fired it, and then right after that, maybe if you stemmed down and focused the overcharged battery, and then let your bio just kill a bunch let them kill a bunch of stalkers and stuff like that, that probably would have been the best thing you could have done. And the same thing happened to you at your base when he attacked your third. You took a while to stem your army, and then you did not focus either one of the Colossus. And these are the things that bio has to do, because bio is so fragile, and if you let Colossus just have massive uptime, they're going to roast all your Marines and Marauders. Mostly Marines. So focus firing is definitely something that's going to... Like, you don't have to... Like, I would say for Diamond, focus firing is not mandatory, but it's definitely going to help you. Another thing that kind of fucked you over was, obviously, like you said before, this is the first time you've done this build, so it's going to be a bit bumpy. And there's, you know...
Oh, God, it was so bad.
Yeah, no, it's so that's understandable. I totally get it. But there's, like, a lot of, like, downtime, uptime in your production while you're going through this shit. So
I don't even know the bio hotkeys. Like,
yeah, it's all good.
I went what key is stim? T. All right.
Yeah.
T's, yeah.
It's okay. It's all good.
I've literally done I've only done the beta GM, so this is 100% new. So it's
all good.
You know, you're talking about the Reaper and stuff, or stutter stepping. I'm like, I couldn't even spend my money. Like,
yeah. Well, this is the hard part now too. This is where if you make the transition from the beta GM series, from mech to bio, this is going to be that hard part. It's just going to feel a little overwhelming for a little while, because now you can't get away with A-moving anymore in Diamond Plus. You have to do something with your units.
Yeah.
So it's basically just gonna take practice. And I would say in this game right now, you are kind of fucked. So I would say, if you want, just do like one more, like bounce out of this one. We'll set up one more, and you can try again from scratch, and then we can talk about it after the next one.
All right, cool.
But yeah, we just kind of broke down like what happened to you right there. So things to think about, and I guess to try to keep progressing with.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna get you in here. I for some reason can't see you. Oh, there you are. Okay. I don't know, Aphelion, if you have to go, it's all good. I'll invite you back. I don't know if you left on accident, but if you gotta go, it's totally fine. Okay, I don't think I think he's out now. Oh, he's okay. No, he's in still. It's just bugged. Here, I'm gonna kick you out of the party, and I'll try and invite you then. Okay, good. That's so weird. Are you ready, Mercies?
Yeah.
Okay. So this time around with the Reaper, when you go to his... So, like, basically, let me start it over and say this. Don't even give a shit about scouting with the SCV. Send your SCV to his natural and then back home. After it's done building the barracks. So, barracks SCV, goes scouts to natural, and then goes home. Don't overwhelm yourself by, like, trying to scout everything every single second, because the Reaper is supposed to do that for you. So, we'll worry about that once the Reaper spawns. And then once the Reaper's out, really try just to manage to keep up with your depot uptime, like your depot production, your SCV production and your bio production. All right. So pop down that barracks. Pop down that gas as soon as you can. Good stuff. And then you can tell, yeah, good job. I was saying you can even tell the SCV while it's building to rally like you did, so to the natural. That's good. You just want to see if he expanded with that SCV. Nice, good job pulling to the gas. And then your barracks is almost done, so this is going to be the last SCV. You can rally this SCV down to the natural, so it can build a command center.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Make a Reaper, make an orbital, and send one of those SCVs to your natural to build a command center. And if he blocks you, you can just build around it. You can build it again. There you go. Good job. And send that SCV back to mine minerals. You don't need to chase it anymore. It's fine. Now build another depot. And start a reactor the second the Reaper's done.
Command center upgrade complete.
Make a mule drop. There you go. So reactor that shit. And now, while making SCVs, 2 barracks first, and then engineering bay right after. And now, meanwhile, keep making SCVs. Don't stop doing that. And use your Reaper to poke in and see what you see. But go to his main right away. Always go right in the main. Never turn around like that. Because the Stalker is not out yet. You can always get the Reaper in the base first. Just try not to lose it. Okay, now turn around. Now turn around. You see it's Stalker. Turn around.
Complete.
All right, and now, so your Reaper's gonna die. It's okay. It happens. You haven't seen his tech though, but you're still doing a timing, so it's fine. Get ready to start your orbital on your natural. Making sure you make an engineering bay as soon as you can, because that's a big deal here. Okay, now keep making Marines. Fix your rally too of your barracks. I don't know. Your barracks is like telling all your boys to go to his natural. Make 2 tech labs on those new racks. And re-rally your main to your natural. And you can even grab some of those SCVs that are oversaturated and put them on your natural as well. And now that you're... Start your weapon upgrade on your engineering bay. And get ready, and now start making Marauder. Okay, try to throw down a bunker in front of your command center at the natural. Keep making units. Marauders are super important here. They can handle the Stalkers a lot better than Marines can. Keep making SCVs. Make depots 2 at a time now that those racks are done, and start stim pack. Keep making units. Another Marauder. Your depots are about to finish, so you'll be good to go in a second here. And then go ahead and start just start a concussive shell on your second deck lab. It's fine. And then just keep making units. Marines, Marauders, Marines, Marauders. It's the SCVs. Okay, and now your money's getting kind of high, so getting ready to throw down that third command center.
Yeah.
Keep making units. And now when these last, or actually, you need to stay for a little longer, like another round of Marauder, because your stint pack's still like 40 seconds out. Keep making units. Yeah, the engineering bay, or I mean, sorry, the supply depots. Good job. Okay, so now Do one final round of units in your barracks to set up like another queue of them. And then after that, throw down the factory and the triple gas. And then that's also, you like start moving your army out to his base right now too. So army move out first, then triple gas, then factory. So triple gas and factory. And meanwhile, try to keep making units. And if you don't have enough gas for a moment from Marauder, just make Marines. Just make sure there's something being made. And now, tell your army, I was going to say, good, go to the top ramp, which is wider, and it's easier to use. Now, make units while looking at your army. Look at your army right now. Make it not go in a single file line. Group it up. And stim pack down that Colossus. And then kill everything else if you can. Okay, so a little rough. It's okay. Just keep making units. You can start combat shield, saturate your gases, and go get ready to take your third base. And make sure your main mineral line looks good again. You can rip off some from the natural. Start your starport. Keep making units. Make a factory. Make a reactor off your factory once you make the starport. Keep making units. Keep making this. Take your third command center to your third base. Throw down 2 more barracks and the second engineering bay and the armory. Keep making units. The hardest part is keeping making units the entire time while you're doing all, because this is like all the maintenance. Keep making units. Start an armor upgrade on your armory. I mean on your engineering bay, rather. Good job. Probably rip off like 7 SCVs from your natural and send them back to your main. You have a very undersaturated main. Just because the SCVs are building so much. Okay, now he's attacking again, so it's going to be the same thing. Try to stim pack down the Colossus if you can.
Research complete.
Okay, good job. You did it this time. Now land that command center and keep building units. Throw down an upgrade on your second engineering bay for weapons again. Rotate your starport like you are. Make tech lab reactor on your barracks. And throw down like 2 more barracks again right now and a 4th command center. So 2 more racks, a command center, and keep making units. Make starport medevacs and stuff too now. It's start incorporating air into your build. And you can land that factory and yeah, just it doesn't matter what it does. Just don't lose it. Okay. Repair your third base with a couple of SCVs and make sure you keep dropping mules and keep making SCVs. Make some depots when you can. And just keep making units again. That's the hardest part. Units, 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 units.
Ready for dust off.
Armed and ready.
Keep making units.
Gangway. Coming.
Barracks pretty idle right now. Good job. Make starport units. Medevacs.
Mineral field depleted.
Make so those 2 new barracks that just finished. Make 1 tech lab, 1 reactor.
Upgrade.
One of them has Marines being built in it, so you have to cancel them out of that 1 racks. Make a tech lab on it because you just made a reactor. Good job. Start another upgrade on your engineering bay. You just finished level 1 level 1 armor. Good job. Level 2. Just keep making units. And now make another command center because that one just got lifted off. So make another one. And now you're kind of done making SCVs. You're at a really healthy amount. You're like around 80. So just focus on units only now. No more SCVs. And you can make it maybe like 1 or 2 more depots just to make sure you don't block supply.
Add-on complete. Mineral
Also
field
throw down a couple gases at your third base. And here's the crazy part. I want you to make a ghost academy. Okay? In your main base or wherever. Just make a ghost academy. And keep making units during the process. Like keep making Marines and Marauders. Don't stop. Marines and Marauders, Marines and Marauders.
Mineral field depleted.
Oh shit. Live coaching.
Yo, thank you very much. Thank you, Mon Capitan. Appreciate it.
Armed and ready.
Keep making units. Look at your engineering bay. Plus 2 weapons is done, so let's get plus 3. Now, I would say send maybe like 1 Marine to both of his possible like 3rd bases or 4th bases, just to see if you know where his expansions are. So because you're getting ready to want to attack soon. So where is his expansions?
Mineral field depleted.
Okay, and then now on your Ghost Academy, get it's the top middle upgrade. It's the right one. It's the one that says enhanced shockwaves. And now I want you to make like just make a few ghosts. Get a couple ghosts if you can. So cancel all your barracks and just make ghost.
We could use some help here.
Ghosts are going to be super helpful if you can get a couple of them out. EMP is so fucking crucial against Protoss once you go to the end game. Oh no, I see what's happening. It's okay. So make a couple ghosts. There you go. And then send those command centers to new bases. Make a couple new command centers again. And now get ready. You're about to get attacked. So you can scan his army if you want to, and just get your army ready to go. This time, send half your army to the right. Don't rush this. Half your army go to the right. Half your army wait at your 3rd. Flank him as you engage him. Now stim everything and go. Everything. Don't leave the other half. Okay, so pause it really fast. So I would pause it, but I can't. So okay, nice attempt. Nice. It was better than last time. But I'll just say this because I know I'm not, it's hard to explain everything, but I want to make sure you understand this concept. So early on in the game, when I was telling you should have focus fired the Colossus, it made sense because there wasn't a front line really for Protoss. The first time you attacked his base, there was like 1 zealot, and when he attacked your 3rd, there was only like 4 zealots or like 3 zealots. And the same thing happened both games. So like when you focus fire the Colossus this game, when he hit your 3rd base, you made him recall and you killed his Colossus and it went well. But now you should not actually focus fire the Colossus until you kill the zealots. So what you're going to want to do now instead is, because he has so many zealots, you will still want to stutter step, but instead of stutter stepping into him, you want to a move towards him, and as soon as you're within range to fight his army, you'd want to stutter step away from him and let his zealots let his zealots bleed out, and then you'd want to stutter step into the Colossus again. But because he had so many zealots just blocking your ass, it just made everything fall apart. And another thing that kind of sucked is if you don't have Ghost, which you were starting to make at the end of the game here, but if you had Ghost here, if you blanket his army with a couple of EMPs, you do so much indirect damage to his army because you rip off all the shields, and Protoss in general, like almost half their health on everything is shields. So you could actually delete like about 40 to 50% of his entire health of his army with a couple of good EMPs. And most people are going to have their army clumped up like crazy. And another thing that it does, obviously, that's super nice, that you're going to really, really, really need Ghost for the more you play Bio against Protoss, is if you blanket a couple of EMPs over his High Templar and you just delete the fact that Storm is the thing, that's super effective. It takes a little bit of time to get used to, but it's very, 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 very good.
Oh,
the last thing I could say about how to control your army would be you could get all of this done with 2 control groups. You could have one control group controlling everything and another control group by itself controlling only the Ghost. So you would, when I say everything, it means everything but the Ghost.
Yeah.
So Ghost by themselves in one group and then everything else in another. And the way you could set up a fight is you see where he is, you scan on top of it again just to make sure you see everything, and you go, this would be a great angle to take EMPs from. You could start the fight off by pre-spreading your bio, like how we where I was like, okay, half to the right, half to the left, just like that. So you have a nice concave that sets up, and then you, right before you stem pack into his army, you try to EMP like 3 or 4 EMPs all over his army, and just get some juicy EMP connections on top of his army. And then you could have like 2 on Ghost, 1 on bio, 1 on the rest of your bio and your medevacs and stuff. And so you could be like 2 EMP a couple of times, one step back, A move forward. And you could then A move backwards, like move command, A move command, A move backwards, which is like stutter stepping backwards to let the zealots bleed out, and then do it once again going forwards to like jump onto his Colossus and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so that ideally is what you're gonna want to be like. That's ideally how you would want it to go. And what you just did this game, you could do this every single game against Protoss. Just try to like become more effective with it over time. And what you could do too is you could literally make barracks all the way to the point to when you have like 12 barracks, or like 12 to like 14 barracks, and then you could. So basically, what you'd want to do is every time you expand, you add on 2 more racks. Every time you expand, you add on 2 more racks. Every time you expand, you add on 2 more racks. And once you get to a point where you're maxed out, and you're like, okay, my money's starting to go up, and I have like 5 bases or whatever, you could add on a second starport. And this could be, you know, the whole, like, you could increase the speed of which you build your medevacs, and you could even also build some Vikings if he's going Colossus heavy. You could build Liberators to help your army if you wanted to. It just helps you fix everything, and it replaces things that die. But realistically, over time, as you grow as a Terran player, you will need to incorporate more diversity into your army. But guaranteed, I'm telling you right now, guaranteed, you can beat every Protoss in Diamond League if you can manage to blanket some EMPs on their army and then do a nice concaved out Stimpak attack into their army. You will kill every Protoss in Diamond League playing like that. It is so fucking effective. And your upgrades were also pretty respectable this game too. Like, you were 2-2 versus a 2-3 Protoss, which is very, very respectable because Protoss is Chrono Boost. So you're managing to maintain decent upgrade levels with him, and your +3 weapons is almost done too. So that would have been pretty fair fights for you.
I mean, if that 6k bank was on the battlefield, that'd be easy.
That's also why you make, every single time you expand, you make 2 more racks. You pair 2 racks with the command center, and you have to make sure you, like, the hardest thing that you have to maintain with bio is you have to not ever forget to build it. So when you push his base with your Stimpak timing early on in the game, while you're doing it, you need to really quickly take a moment to go 4 make units, go back to your controlling your army, and then, you know, do it again and do it again. And when you're fighting him like at your 3rd base the first time, do it again there. When you're fighting him right now, right here, do it again here. And you notice you're not building anything and you're down at 90 supply, and it's because you stopped building units. The last units you built were these ghosts, and you made those before you maxed. So you have to really make sure that, if, for instance, if you go scan, few EMPs, 1 A move, like Stimpak A move, as soon as you do that, you could like start stutter stepping backwards. But like, if you think for a moment, you're like, okay, well, I have a brief moment where I just move commanded and attacked, and I'm gonna just let my units attack here just for like 2 seconds while I go back to 4, make a full round of barracks units, hit tab, make a full round of starport units, go back to group 1 and control my army again. Like, that's ideally what you're gonna want to have happen. You need to be able to macro during a fight, because if you don't, this style will totally fall apart. Because the biggest thing that this style does is it overwhelms your opponent, because you're not supposed to like always beat your opponent's army the first fight. Bio is just consistent, and it just continuously pumps out over and over and over and over and over, and you will overrun people over periods of aggression. Like, it might not be wave 1, it might be wave 2, it might be wave 3, it might be wave 4, but bio builds so fucking fast, especially if you have like 12 racks with reactors and tech labs. Like, your bio is just cranking like crazy over and over. So that is a big, big, big deal. Don't ever forget to produce units. It's huge.
Yeah, I think I've just been so spoiled with Mech.
Yeah.
You can just, you know, siege your tanks and then ignore it.
So, yeah, very true. So in this game, again, I would say you're dead. He's definitely going to run you over at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Aphelion, dude, thank you very much for helping us with this. I appreciate it. I'm going to do one more thing for you, like another example, because I want to give you something to compare to. Mercies, I'm going to invite you to my game specifically. And I'm going to give you like an example build of what this looks like. All right, so I'm gonna invite you to this. All right, and then just try your best as well when you do this yourself, and you go back and look at this. Just like with anything that I've said before, really try to compare timers on everything to be like, okay, well, am I actually doing these as fast as this is supposed to happen, or am I like super late on these things? And like that's gonna change everything again because people may or may not realize you're actually way off, or you know you may or may not be way off from what the build actually is supposed to be.
Yeah.
All right.
What's going on? Sure thing. SCV ready. Go ahead.
Also, do you right now use control groups at all, or are you F2 a move, or do you select the army a move a lot?
I've started learning, so all I'm really doing at the moment is like F2, make that into the control group 1, use that rather than F2, so that I'm not like parade pushing,
Okay.
you know. But other than that, not yet.
Okay. So definitely, that's a big step too in the right direction if you start using control groups, because it'll allow you to like double tap your camera back and forth, so you don't have to like click all over the mini map and shit. It makes it way faster at macroing while you micro.
SCV ready. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna make the Reaper. I'm gonna make the orbital, and I'm gonna rally my SCV out of the command center right now to the natural. The barracks SCV is just gonna go check his natural, see if he expanded, and then come back.
Move it.
And I'm gonna incorporate a bunker into this build for you now too, from now on, because I actually feel like what happened to you last game will happen multiple times.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty mandatory in this matchup. Like if they do 2-gate expand, they
Yeah.
just die.
Yeah. So now we're going into racks, NG Bay first, and then bunker.
Bad news. SCV ready.
Like an NG Bay,
Yeah, whatever.
and then Reaper can go into his main,
Yeah, from above.
see what's going on, and you know, if you get in and you can kill probes, great. If you can't, just get in, get out, that's fine, and see what's going on. And now, honestly, SCV that's building the command center can just pop off and build the bunker. So we start orbital, and then start a bunker. Start a weapon upgrade on my NG Bay. Start a tech lab. Keep making Marines. Reaper can bounce back in again and just see if I can see something specific.
Command center upgraded.
Yeah, from above.
Add on.
Okay, we can start stim pack. And whenever we can't make a Marauder, we make a Marine, but we make Marauders otherwise. We can start making a couple of depots. And for this build too, I would say probably stop doing a wall of depots in front of your natural and stuff like that. Just because this build's more aggressive now. And you don't want to... You'll have bio to defend yourself if he attacks you. But like that bunker did nothing for you if he would have still stalker pressured you. Because the depots are in front of the bunker. So it outranges it.
Yeah.
Alright. And then... Again, all we're doing is we're just poking around with the Reaper here and there, and we're just trying to get as much units as we can for our timing, and it's going to be a +1 stim timing. Base is almost fully saturated. It's getting there.
SCV ready. Gangway.
Our money's gonna start ramping up a little bit because we're getting close to full saturation on that mineral line, so we're about to make our command center. And our stim pack, combat shield, and +1's all about done. So this round of units that just spawned just now, this is gonna be our attack wave. So let's go ahead and take everything and get out across the map to his base. And we can start another command center
Upgraded.
in just a second, like right now.
Research completed.
And now let's go gas, 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 while still maintaining unit production. And now check this out. I'm putting group 1 as just my bio, and group 2 is my Reaper. Group 1's gonna attack the natural. Group 2 is gonna run into his main, or just run into the mineral line. Okay, he doesn't have a base here, so let's go further in. Okay, let's step back up. Reaper can go to the mineral line. Marine Marauder go in and just slam some units. We can start a factory behind this. Okay, and now I know obviously you know if there's more shit battery whatever, there's gonna be more retention there. But let's just back it up and let's just keep going throughout the build for a second here, so we don't actually just like end this game. Actually, yo, Aphelion, are you still there? If you're still there, can you message me? If you want, I could play you really fast myself, and I could give not only an example build like what we're doing right here, but I could give a live example of a real game. If you want to. Alright, and then so now we have the factory almost done, so we're gonna start the starport and a reactor. Since my recipe's back to our main because it's looking a little oversaturated. Okay, let's get our third base going. And let's start a second engineering bay and an armory. And I'm just gonna max with this one, and then it'll just be like an idea of how to, like, you know, a good quota for maxing and shit like that. Okay, let's start making our next command center, and we'll make 2 more depots, or 2 more barracks again in a second.
Research completed.
So in a real game, you'd want to be doing timings with your upgrades. Is that what? Instead of just maxing out.
Well, the first one is a +1 timing. That's the whole point of it. It's a +1 stim timing with combat shield or with concussive. You're probably going to be doing concussive most of the time, honestly. It really just, if your gas is late, you can do combat shield, but you don't want your gas to be late with a timing. But after that, it's just you can play defensive like we're doing right now. You're just chilling, and you're maxing, and you're eventually going into ghost.
All right.
Okay, and we can start a Ghost Academy as well right now. Once you get to around like 140 supply is when you should honestly, somewhere around there is where you should probably be getting ready to throw down your Ghost Academy. Because you want to start making Ghost probably around like 160-ish. Okay, we can take another base. Because our command center just finished. Take 2 more racks.
Mineral cluster expended.
Kill these rocks or something. It's fine. Get that ghost upgrade.
Add-on operational.
And now we can start adding in some ghosts. We don't need to go for a lot of them. Literally just make like 5.
Oh, yeah.
Add-on constructed.
Hope you had an awesome Christmas and New Year.
Thank you guys. I appreciate the support, guys. Sorry I'm not really talking about it too much because I'm doing coach and listen, but do appreciate it a lot. Thank you, thank you. Much love, Yellow Bee. Okay, so we can make like 2 more racks right now. Do another combat or a tech lab reactor. And now at this point, we're getting close to max. Let's just throw down another starport right now. You can do it after you max, or you can do it right before you max. But just basically when you're like at that point where you have a ton of money to work with. That's ideally when you want to be going for it.
Add on mineral cluster.
We can take another base again. Another command center just finished.
Got it.
SCV ready.
And now we're just about ready to go for the now since we just took another base, we can start like 2 more racks again. And your base doesn't have to be perfect. Just make your shit anywhere. Try not to traffic jam it, but really you can make it anywhere.
Reporting.
Yeah, I've got super discipline because Thors are so bad.
Yeah.
Completed.
And now
Center upgraded.
really just check your bases really quick and be like, cool, can I send SCVs anywhere that's not looking good saturation wise?
Ready for dust off.
So like with your new bases you just made, and so on and so on. Take another base, whatever. But now our racks count is around, it's at 11. We can make 1 more and call it good on like 12 racks. 12 racks to starport, and now we have a super fucking effective remax potential. So now we're looking for where the Protoss is, like where he's expanded and all that stuff. This is going to be a nice 2-2 attack for our upgrades. Okay, there he is right there. We can scan him, and you know, ideally again we would see a bigger army than this, but if we wanted to attack this, we could take half of our army, split it just like that.
Transmission.
Okay, he's walking towards me, so just chase him.
Out with it.
You just want to give yourself a nice concave, but when you engage, you could just be like, okay,
Channel secure.
let's split up,
Go.
make a concave. You could throw some EMPs at him, step back forward, and go. And you stutter step, whatever. I'll do this if Aphelion wants to play a real game. I'll do it in a real version of it. But that's basically it. Just that's every fight for you, and you just always try to keep remaxing, keep expanding. And once you run out of places to expand, you can do shit like this. Like if you look in front of my, between my natural and my third, and around my third base area.
Hostile contact.
or
Yeah,
my-
I'm
my
doing
fourth.
this from B to GM.
Yeah, you just grab a bunch of orbitals, and you're like, cool, now I can fucking go crazy on mules and scans all day. Alright, anyways. Save that one for just like an example of like timing. Like if you can keep up with the clock of that. And then I'll do 1 more game really fast with Aphelion. And you can come in obviously. And this will be this I want it to be a real version of what I'm trying to more or less show you. So far, how are you feeling about everything we're talking about so far?
You know, I was thinking like, oh, we're gonna just keep doing Thor Hellbat, but you're just gonna make like 1 small adjustment. You know, you see this, do that. See this, do that. But
Yeah.
it's like, no, we're just gonna. You know where the scouting is now? It's on the loading screen. Who am I playing against? Like, what race are they? Right. Which in one sense that's pretty easy. It's
Yeah.
there's even that little menu if you forget. So
Well, keep this in mind too. The better you get at this, your scouting will come from the first Reaper pressure, like little poke with the Reaper. That's a scout. Your second scout comes from the timing you do with your +1 stim. Your next scouts after that come. I didn't really incorporate these yet because I think it's a bit much right now. You don't have to really worry about it because this build is pretty solve all if you can just manage to build it like you are right here, like this is kind of aiming for. But once you develop further as a player and you get really comfortable, your next scouts after that come from drops. So like when you're at like 100 supply or like 120 supply and you're throwing out 1 or 2 medevacs at a time at his base and you're dropping mineral lines and he's defending his base with whatever it is, you're scouting what he's doing and how much he has of it as well. Because not only are you scouting how many bases he's on, but you're scouting what he's defending his bases with, which is telling you what his tech choices have become. And you could even click on his units and be like, how many upgrades do you have? Like, are you double forging this, which is what most people would do, or are you single forging? Do you have air upgrades? Like if he's got Phoenix or some shit.
but scouting's redundant with this, right? Because we're not making any reactions. Really.
You're really not. Like you could make reactions later on, but for like once you get to like Masters Plus. But for now in Diamond, if you just add in Ghost against Protoss with a good round of remaxable bio, you will have such good success. But once you get to like higher and higher and higher, you could start adding on things like you could start going, okay, cool, this guy's going Liberators and High Templar, or lots of ground Archons all over the place. how about I add on some more Ghost and more Liberator of my own? Or if he's going for shitloads of charge lots, maybe you could go into like another factory and now you start going in for like a lot of Widow Mines. If he's going for air units, like he's going straight up Void Rays, well, instead of going for Marauders, maybe you switch over one of those tech labs for the first 2 you had to a factory. With your armory, you get Drilling Claw Widow Mines, and you switch back to a reactor, and you just go like Mass Marine Widow Mine against Void Ray based bullshit, or air like something Sky Tossy. Like you can definitely make reactions out of this as you progress as a player, but for now, just Marine, Marauder, Ghost, Medevac is going to, with a good economy and good upkeep of what you're doing, like replaceability, that will definitely smash Diamond. Like that'll get you comfortable with this build, and it's not going to be too chaotic. Because it's always the same thing, same thing, same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so makes sense, or you feel good about it?
Yeah, yeah. No, it's. I mean, it's like it's all completely overwhelming right now.
Sure,
but
sure.
It'll. I'm still thinking about the first time I reached for that stim hotkey and went, oh wait, I remapped that because I wanted the key for something else. What is it now? Because I never use it. Like,
That's all good. Okay, so now I'm doing the same exact thing again that we've been doing the whole time, and it's just gonna be, you know, a more real version. It won't be against an AI that has like 8 stalkers at 10 minutes.
yeah.
In the rear with SCV ready. Yo. We hear you.
Okay.
SCV ready.
Okay, so standard, super standard so far.
SCV ready. Huh? SCV ready.
Ah.
SCV ready.
Okay, now getting ready to. This is our last SCV to be built, so we're gonna rally it down to the natural.
SCVs under attack.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, let's not worry about that probe.
SCV ready. Gotcha.
So we're gonna take our natural. We got a guy going to his natural,
You're the boss. Big job.
and the Reaper is already on its way. So if the probe stays and harasses this SCV, we can just kill it with the Reaper.
Ah, you scared? Bad news.
Make another depot, so we don't block while we're starting to keep SCV production rolling.
Command center upgraded.
Okay, so he expanded. Good shit. That's all we wanted to know.
The Grim Reaper has arrived.
And now we're gonna make more racks, while our Reaper is gonna get into his base ASAP.
Will do. Go ahead. SCV ready. Fair enough. In the rear.
Okay, so he's got a stalker, so we'll pull back.
Yes, and
You can even like throw a grenade at it and just like try to get out.
nothing I can't handle. SCV ready.
Just use that for like an escape maneuver. And now we know he opened stalker, so good shit. Like that's a little bit of information. It means he spent a little bit more gas, and he's, you know, than an adept would be. And it means if he does pressure us, it's going to be a tiny bit later. So now we can make a bunker.
This better be good.
We can get +1 weapons on our engineering bay, and we can go back in with our Reaper and just see if we can poke anything. Okay, so he walled that off, so I can't actually get up that cliff, really.
Yeah.
I can click the very edge of it, and I can see, okay. Oh, wait, what building was that?
Add on.
That was a robo. Okay, so it looks like a robo first, which is either going to be for an immortal timing, or if you know, since he's expanded, it probably is going to be more for a defensive play. Like, I would imagine probably defensive Colossus, something like that. Shield battery even further insinuates that he's going to play defensive. So we just scout in, scout out. Get stim pack. Now our buildings are done, our racks are done, so we really need to start pumping out those depots a little bit faster now, because it's going to get a little crazy with how fast these how fast the supply ramps up. Let's get a concussive shell upgrade. Alright, that's a hallucinated Phoenix. We can tell because we saw the sentry earlier. And now he has no energy. And now we saw 2 stalkers. So again, we're just poking and checking and seeing it, like his comp. We're seeing what he's aiming for. It looks very Colossus-esque because it's super defensive. Another sign is he's not stockpiling sentry energy to push me with force fields. Okay, so let's go and start a 3rd command center. And let's go ahead and move out because all my upgrades seem like they're done. So let's go ahead and move all my army to his base. Start 3 gases. And keep making units, but in the meantime, we'll get ready to go into factory once these gases kind of activate and we have enough gas to build it. Keep making depots so we don't block. And I would have sent my Reaper into his main, but I can't because he walled off the cliff, so it's fine. Now, Stim Pack's going to be finishing in just a second. Right now. +1 just finished as well, so let's Stim. Kill the sentry. Kill that battery that just got overcharged. Kill all the batteries, to be honest. And now let's try to kill that Colossus if we can. If we can't, it's fine. Okay, so that's okay. We just made him feel really defensive, and we did some damage. Let's go to make 2 more racks because we started a command center. And we'll be going into a starport in a moment. We can also start our armor on our building over here. And now let's go ahead and start armory, engineering bay. Or I can't start the armory yet until the factory, that's right. So I got a little bit of time to wait on that, just like probably 20 seconds, 10 seconds. Go ahead and lift off the 3rd to the 3rd so we can take our economy to the next level. Now let's start the armory and a starport with the reactor. Grab a couple of SCVs and send them to my 3rd. Reactor and tech lab on my new barracks I just made. Keep making depots so we don't block.
Mineral field exhausted.
Get combat shields because we haven't started it yet, and we definitely need that.
Operational.
We can also get rid of this bunker because it's kind of irrelevant now because we have a 3rd. Let's get rid of these rocks. So, because we just expanded here, might as well, so my army's not so choke pointed if I want to defend my base. Now let's go ahead and start another command center because we have a lot of money for it.
Add on.
Start another upgrade. Get our medevacs going. Keep making depots. +1 armor is about done. Let's get ready to start +2 armor right away.
Army.
There we go.
Mineral cluster expended.
Get those gases saturated at my 3rd.
Mineral field depleted.
Keep dropping mules. Keep making medevacs. Now let's go ahead and start a Ghost Academy because we're getting to that range where we're getting ready to want to build ghosts soon. And let's rally my command centers to the new base that we're about to take with all our boys. Lift that command center off, land it at the new base, build another command center, pair this with 2 more racks.
Yeah, SCV ready. Go, go, go. Ready for dust off.
So producing units is definitely the key here. It's gonna make or break you if you get attacked. Because your supply should honestly always be looking pretty fucking strong against Protoss. Ideally. Terran can produce, so, like this supply we're making is pretty, produces pretty quick. It's much faster than like Colossus-based units. Okay, and now let's go ahead and make some ghosts in a second.
What's going on? In the rear. Somebody, get me out of this mess.
Okay,
Ready for dust. Go, go, go.
make some ghosts. Get a couple more tech lab and reactor. Okay, so we have a good SCV count. We really don't need to worry about it anymore. We're at like 82 once they all finish. That's solid. Now let's honestly move our army out and let's get ready to go attack. The second these ghosts spawn, we're gonna go set up a fight. Take another command center. Transfer some SCVs that are oversaturated. We can take a new gas.
Ghost reporting.
Okay, ghosts are out.
SCV ready.
So now ghosts go on group 2. Everything else is on group 1.
Data set ready.
Add-on constructed.
Go scan at his base. Maybe we'll find his army. There it is. Okay, cool. So now we know where he is.
Channel. Out.
And we're going to set up a fight, how we just talked about it a second ago, to how we want to set this up. We also just started 3-3 upgrades.
Expended.
Repeat.
So we can send like 1 Marine forward, make sure where he is. Where are you? Okay, there he is. Okay, so let's divide my army in like 50-50 right here.
Go.
Scan ahead. We see him. Okay, so let's move in with the ghost. Try to do some APs and just impact my army in just 1 A move. Meanwhile, we're making units the whole time. We can go ahead and stim again because it's been a while. Stutter forward, attack, stutter forward, attack, stutter forward, attack, stutter forward, attack.
Expended.
Now let's take another command center. And then more barracks again. Because we're getting to that point again where we're looking for that fast remax again, right? So we just killed that base. And now you have options all over the place. Like, do I want to load up my medevacs and rush the main? Do I want to check for more expansions? We could play the safe version and just go check for more expansions. So we could select our whole army, just add in all the new shit, make it in control group 1. And now we have an even bigger army that's coming across the map, which is nice. In total right now, we have 9 racks. Let's go ahead and make 3 more to take us to that sweet spot of 12, because now we're getting tons of money. And we could even start, right now, we could even start adding on the command centers too for like the extra orbitals for mules and stuff. Okay, there's a base right here. Is there a base in top right? Yes, there is. There's a DT attacking me. Let's kill that. Okay, scan him. So he's got a scary looking army. He's got some Templar action. So let's stutter stem away. Attack, back up. 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 Back up. Back up. And now let's wait to fight him until we get some fucking ghosts out here. So our ghosts are on the way again. They're walking across the map. But if they have Templar, it's probably a good idea to wait for your ghost to arrive. Because otherwise there's a very high chance you're going to get destroyed. Like if you just eat some storms to the face, it's going to maybe go pretty bad for you. So Templar are really nice. Or sorry, ghosts are really nice at just dealing with Templar and everything Protoss. Okay, and now let's go ahead and maybe take another base at our last expansion that's our side of the map.
Ghost reporting.
We've regrouped ourselves. We have 4 ghosts. Okay, there's something happening here with DTs.
SCVs under attack.
Let's make some turrets now because he's got DTs kind of roaming around. So we'll put turrets down at planetaries and things like that. Random turrets all over the base. Just like 1 turret per base, but not crazy turrets, just turrets in general to cover.
Command
And now let's go push.
upgraded. Mineral field depleted.
And that base is getting attacked again. A little annoying, but it is what it is.
Go.
Just keep making units. Keep making SCVs. Keep making everything. So let's kill that base. And there's his army. Some of it at least. Let's go ahead and throw out some EMPs on him. Stim pack my boys. There's more of the shit, so let's throw out some EMPs on those Templar. Makes it so much easier to deal with Templar if you just throw some EMPs at them. And there's really no rush to anything. Like it's all just like it seems chaotic, it seems crazy fast, I guess, if you've never done it.
Hey ViBE, love your attitude and content.
One sec, Deadly Escaner, I'll play that again in a minute. Thank you so much, dude, for the sub. It seems kind of crazy fast if you're not used to it, but realistically, it is not that fast. It is like it feels comfortable once you do it enough, and it's always just don't feel like when you attack the Protoss, don't be like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go. Always be sure that you attack like this, okay? If I'm looking for the Protoss right now, I'm not sure where he is. I could always do something like this. Okay, couple Marines, go in different directions, and find out where he is. There's no reason not to do that. It makes your setup way better if I'm looking for where, like, if I'm going to run into Fog of War, that way I don't just die. Another thing you can do as well, if you have some energy, is some extra energy on your orbitals, is you can throw a scan at ideally where you think his army would be, like the center of his base. That's why I scanned there the first time and I saw his army, because it makes the most sense that someone's going to defend the center of their base. Like, if I have the whole left side of the map, my army's not going to be in top middle, right? Because that means the entire bottom side of my bases is all exposed. So it's usually going to be centralized in this heart of your base, so that you can easily defend any location that gets attacked in case it gets attacked. So if I scan for where his army would likely be and I see it, makes it easier to now know where it is so that I can set up a fight against it. But setting up a fight with EMP is 100% the key to victory at late game. And it's always, 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 always remaxing as fast as you can. Like, be in the habit of if I go back to, so let's just say this, let's say a bunch of units died and I took a fight where some shit was down. When I remax, I am not gonna hit 4 and then go D, 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 A, and like hit the keys one at a time. I'm not gonna do that. Instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit my barracks group. It's gonna prioritize Marauders first because you can't make Marauders out of a reactor. So I'm going to hit 4. I'm going to hold D for Marauder. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to hold A for Marine. I'm going to let it go. Because it only fills up their tech labs for Marauder, and it only fills up their reactors for Marines if you do it like this. So you don't have Marines on your tech labs, essentially, because that's what happens if you make Marines first, and you hold A, and you hold it for too long.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
I picked up on that when I was trying to do it.
Yeah, so if I do it right now, if I'm hitting 4 and I want to just make Marauder Marine, I literally, right now, I'm pushing D right now. Let it go. Hit A. Let it go. I just filled up my barracks. It took me all of 1 second, maybe 2 seconds to do that. And then I could double tap 1, go right back to my army. So it just makes it super nice at being able to, bounce around and do things quickly for yourself. And then it's just maintaining that all the time. Never stopping doing that. Because you are going to lose units like crazy. Every time you attack the Protoss, you're going to have units dying left and right all the time. Especially if, like, you miss an EMP and you eat some storms to the face. Lots of bio will die. And the way you can try to mitigate storm as well is things like, you can either just run away, or if you get in the habit of doing something like this, okay? If anyone ever wonders, how do players split their units so well? Like, how do you split? I don't get it. You click one direction with everything, and then you green box and click the other direction with it, and then you green box half of that and click the other direction again. So, like, for instance, I will split this into 4 sections really fast, okay? So I'm going to go left, right, left, right. So I go, everything go left, 75% go right, 74% of that go left, and then a chunk of that go right. And I just split my army into 4 groups. And it just requires a little bit of mouse accuracy. It takes a little bit of practice to get used to it. But you can start doing it really fucking fast the more you feel comfortable with it. And it mitigates really well where you can, you know, get rid of AoE. Another thing too is look at where the clumps of your army are, and that's most likely where you're gonna get stormed. So if I had to guess where someone's gonna storm me, it's probably gonna be the group of bio that I'm gonna stim like crazy. That's probably where I would get stormed in this kind of an army right here, like the very center chunk of my units. It's not gonna be the very right side with these guys. It's not gonna be the super left side with these guys, unless he's got multiple storms. It would probably be the center chunk right there again, where the stim happened. So if I wanted to get in a situation where I see where my own chunk is, that looks like that's the juicy storm spot, and I'm like, okay, let's take a fight against the whatever, the Protoss, and I'm gonna take a fight. I can split both sides of my army away from the center. Like if I go a move down, I can go left, right, and then suddenly it splits, and I can split those again if it looks like they're gonna, you know, if they're gonna get hit by the storm, whatever. It's just green boxing half, go one way, green box the other half, go the other way. So you can send everything one way, green box a chunk, go the other way. 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 Other way, 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 other way. Again, it just takes mouse practice and mouse accuracy, but one of the, you know what, this is the final thing we'll say. So this game is kind of over, or it is over. Aphelion, thank you very much for playing. This is another replay you could save if you wanted to, Mercies. And if you want to practice, Mercies, this is the last big tip I'll give you, okay? This is kind of a fun way to do it. If you want to practice Marine splits, go to a game in arcade called Marine Split Challenge. It's this one right here. The top left game that looks like a big box, a big gray box and a big brown dirt pile. You go into it, you start it, and this will teach you how to split your Marines, because it's basically splitting Marines against Banes on creep, and it's just how well can you do it. So if you want to practice splitting, this is a fast way to just feel overwhelmed by it. And I'll do one wave just for an example, just so people can see what the fuck it means, what it looks like. But when you get in here, type dash stim, like that. So because that way you can do a realistic example with stim pack. And now you have stim, or okay. Okay, no dash. You just hit stim, okay? So you just hit stim and that's it. But now if we're gonna split Marines, you'd be like, okay, run, 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 run. And then wave 2's done, or wave 1's done, so now it's the next one. You do it again. Like, how well can you split your bio up against Banes? And every time the wave gets more, it gets to the next wave, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger on the Baneling side, but the Marines never change. Like, you always have the same amount of Marines every time. So it's a fun way to, like, practice your Marine splits. That, you know, it'll definitely feel like it'll get chaotic as fuck. And it'll help you practice mouse accuracy.
Is splitting versus Banes or Storm or anything all the same? Like,
It's all going to help you because it's going to increase your mouse precision at, like, how you control your army.
yeah, right. But the technique's not necessarily the same.
So the technique against Storm would be like this. You would go like that. Like, you would just split chunks of it, like massive chunks of it, or like left, right, spread out, spread out. With Banes, you just want to spread out as many Marines, like, away from each other as possible. So it's not exactly the same technique, but if you can split against Banes, it's much easier to split against Storm. Storm is actually the easier version to split against, because it's not as chaotic as Banelings are. But anyways, Mercies, how you feeling, dude? Any questions about anything? I know it's a lot to take in.
Yeah, nah, it is. I wouldn't even know where to start, honestly. Like, that's basically my first exposure
Okay. Yeah.
to bio, pretty much. So, yeah, I need to go away and watch this again, and then probably again, and then probably again.
Sounds good. Yeah, I would have honestly kept you going down the mech path, but it's mech. That's why I kind of stopped doing it in Beta GM once I get Diamond Plus, unless it was against Zerg a lot, because and that's also why I started using like Cyclones, because standard traditional like Hellbat Thor is a trap against Diamond Plus players. It only works against, like, it's very specific sometimes when it can work in a real game, but in general it only works against players who can't macro properly for like every game. So that's not Diamond Plus usually. Diamond Plus usually can macro properly for the most part.
Yeah, I found it's all right with tanks. But yeah, I'm like, you know, I want to try and be a well-rounded player. So at some point, I want to learn bio, and I'm, you know, pretty happy for that to be now.
Yeah.
Obviously, you think this is sort of a good time, a
Yeah.
good point where the
I am totally a fan of Bio against Terran and against Protoss, and Mech against Zerg. Like you can still go Bio against Zerg too if you wanted to, but it definitely works well against Terran and Protoss. And if you wanted my opinion on just a quick, easy way to make this build I just showed you against Protoss, how you can make it work against Terran, you could try to do the exact same build against Terran, just for the sake of like easy understanding to practice for now. Do the exact same thing against Terran, except against Terran, do not actually attack with your first timing. Just do the build the same way, but don't do the attack. And then instead of going Ghost, go for Siege Tanks. That's the only difference. So you go Marine, or... Okay, not entirely. Against Terran, go Marine Tank Medevac instead of Marine Marauder Medevac. So it would be like double reactor, one tech lab, and then always make reactors against Terran. So that's also the other thing. So just Marine Tank Medevac against Terran, and that would work great. And then you could, around the time when you're at like 140 supply, just like we were doing here, where we're like adding on the Ghost Academy to start going into Ghost, that's when you could add on like maybe a second factory and just add on even more tanks. But just go for Marines, Tanks, and Medevacs against Terran, and siege your tanks, try to push with Marines, and so on and so on. That's a very like summed up, easy, basic version of a TVT lesson right there, because we don't have time to actually go over a TVT, but it'll definitely help you. I like practice bio.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm sure I can find one in your playlist somewhere.
All right, man. Sounds good. So I know I just asked you this, but in case something sparked in your mind, do you have any final questions about anything before we wrap it up?
No, all good. Thank you.
All right, man. Well, good luck. Make sure you save those replays for the ones that were actual real examples, so you can always like go back and look at them and compare for yourself in your own replays in the future. And yeah, dude, good luck and take it easy. Thanks for doing it, dude.
All right, thank you, GG.
All right, see you, man. All right, guys, that's been another coaching lesson with our boy Rough Mercies. Rough Mercies, thank you again for doing it, dude. And thank you guys for watching on YouTube and all that, and people on Twitch. Thanks for hanging out too, guys. And I'll get to all those subs and things that happened during it in a second. Much appreciated for all the support. But guys, go check out more videos if you liked it. I would definitely say I have a little bit more Terran stuff out there. I have some Terran stuff out there, but I definitely have a lot more Protoss and Zerg. So if you're someone who doesn't actually play Terran and this is like your first time discovering the channel, I definitely have a lot more Zerg and Protoss stuff. But much love. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, good luck and yeah, take it easy. Peace, guys. See ya.